Well, welcome to today's video, and I have with me today Mary, who's a good friend, and she's a member of one of the churches where I minister. And Mary has kindly agreed to have a faith journey conversation. So, Mary, thank you ever so much for giving your time today to have this conversation. So, tell us about your early days. I think you were born into a Christian family, is that right?
Yes, yeah. First of all, I just want to thank you for this opportunity that you have given me to share my faith journey with you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I was born in a Christian family. Fortunately, um, we got a very good godly parents.
Yeah.
They grew us up in Christian faith, and from the childhood we used to go to church and participate in activities, Sunday school, youth meetings. um, it was so good, really, my childhood. And my father was really very strict, and he used to give us a homework to do the memory verses
Oh,
every
really?
Sunday.
Memorize verses from the Bible.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
121 first Psalms, and Matthew 5th chapter, and lots of memory verses he made us to memorize. And we never used to get lunch till we say the memory verses.
And how did you feel about that as a child?
That time, it was a bit annoying. Because he was every children, they used to go out and play.
Yeah.
And my dad never used to send us out, and he was very strict, and he used to tell us to memorize the verses and tell all these things. Yeah, but really later on I realized the importance of that. Then the life was good, and my parents were very prayerful. I used to watch them, they were very faithful in the church work and ministry, though they have a secular jobs, and they were very faithful to the church ministry, and they were elders in the church as well. I used to watch, and they were very sincere in ministry.
Yeah.
And later on, I was the firstborn in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to send me for the different course, but I was interested to go for nursing. My dad was not interested in that, because he was a teacher. He wanted me to do the teaching.
Right.
But I was inspired by one nurse who came from Canada to do the ministry in India, where I was born.
Yeah.
And then she conducted a retreat, and in that retreat, and she told her testimony, how she accepted Christ, and why she wanted to take the nursing to care for the people. So that was really inspiring for me, and then I was taken a decision that I want to become a nurse. And then my dad did not like that, but still, I went for nursing. And I finished.
He accepted it, did he, in the end?
No, he did not. He accepted, because I was really, wanted to go. Finally, he agreed for that. My mom was really interesting for that, for me to go for nursing. And I did my nursing, and then I used to have a great desire to go to the different places and work. Mm-hmm. So straight away from my after my training, I went to Bombay. I think you must have heard about Bombay. Yeah. It's a big city, very big city. And I worked in that hospital, and my parents wanted me to get married and then brought me back again. So then I got married, and life was so good. And then I was, honestly to say, I was a nominal Christian. No lots of Bible verses, no lots of songs, hymns, and everything I know, but I never experienced Jesus Christ in my life. Mm-hmm. And I was happy doing things and in my way. And then I got married. And 1983, I got married, and I got a very good job, government job. And after that, 83 to 93 was a very joyful life. I had Rachel and Joel. They were born that time.
Yeah.
10 years.
Your daughter and son.
Sorry?
That's your daughter and son.
Yes, Rachel and Joel. Yeah. Rachel was born in 1984 and Joel was in 1987. And then it was good, and we put them in a very good school, and life was going smoothly. And 1993, and I had a problem in my life that my husband was very sick. He fell sick. Suddenly, he fainted, and then we took him to the hospital. And when they tested, and his HB was 4 grams, it's supposed to be 14. I'm a nurse, so I know the severity, and then we admitted him immediately. The thing is, they have done all the tests. Everything was normal, and then they said they wanted to do other tests as well. They did the gastroscopy, and it was normal. And then they did the colonoscopy, one test. And one second.
So he was very sick.
He's gone very sick. Then they did the colonoscopy, and then they found a growth in his intestine, and they wanted to operate immediately. And then that was really a very serious thing. My children were small, and I was big, I was really shattered, He was, when they found a growth in the intestine, and it's not a good sign. And then doctors, they said 99.5, it will be cancer.
Wow.
So then they did the operation, and they sent that specimen for the test. But during that time, I was shattered, and then I started praying. That was the first time I started praying. Wow. Very pouring out my heart and asking God lots of questions, why this thing has happened in my life. So then that time I didn't have any time to, I was worrying to read Bible or anything, but I was just only praying. My childhood, what I've learned, all the memory verses, then I was just saying those verses. I lift up my eyes unto thee, from where my help comes from. These things I was repeatedly telling and praying, and the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So these promises, all I'm asking, Lord, and if you are really my God, if you're really, this should not happen. That was only my prayer. Yeah. And everybody is telling, all the doctors said it is cancer. They, without getting any report, they confirmed to me it is cancer. Only we are waiting, Mary, to get the report, then we will start the chemotherapy. Yeah. So that is the only thing. Those days, cancer treatment was not so much advanced. It was not so much advanced. And I know, being a medical person, I know that what will happen eventually. Yeah. So, and one lady used to come to I used to call her auntie. She used to comfort me, and she used to join with me for prayer. And she is elderly lady, and she was supporting me so much in prayer and comforting me, and she was telling me, God is faithful. He will never, never, never forsake you. All those things she was telling me, and we were praying. Yeah. And then what happened? And I was asking, what sin I have done, you know. Uh, oh, I was really so much shattered, you know. And then when the report came, still it was negative. It was not cancer. It was only benign tumor.
Goodness me. So how did you respond then?
And then, you know, that time, that was the turning point in my life.
Right.
I think foundation of faith, I can say that. Then nothing is impossible to him. You know, those promises and all true. What Bible says is true, like that. You know, my heart was, and everyone, the hospital staff, everyone came and said, "Oh, you're blessed, you're blessed." They're very happy because, you know, it's a benign. It's not. They were about to start the chemotherapy the very next day.
Right.
As soon as we get the report. And that was the thing, you know, I started actually to say, actually, I started praying hard, wholeheartedly. I started to worship Him and pray, and my entire life also, you know, changed completely. Then the second one, immediately after 1 year of this incident, and Joel became sick.
Yeah.
Joel became sick and he started having wheezing because when he was small itself, he had some pneumonia. They treated him, but now and then he used to get this wheezing. But doctors told me that, you know, when he reaches a certain age, it will subside. It doesn't come like that. So one night, what happened? My husband was not there. He went somewhere. And then one night, a big storm came in Chennai. We were in Chennai that time. Storm came and all the trees were falling down, and thunders, lightning, and very, you know, very frightened thing happened. And that time, my Joel was having the wheezing. He started wheezing and then having wheezing, and then I didn't know we can't take him to the hospital because no electricity gone, no phone. We can't contact anybody, and this one is having, it is increasing, uh, is having very severe wheezing, started having.
So he's having problems with his breathing.
Breathing, yes.
Yeah.
So then we put lots of pillows back, and then he started in breathlessness. Finally, he's having that breathlessness. I could not see that scene, and then at one point I thought I lost him. And then we didn't have any help. Only one domestic lady was with me who helps me cooking and all. And Rachel was small. Rachel was very small girl. Then I knelt down and then I started praying again, praying. Only I asked Lord, you know, before I finish my, you know, as soon as I finish my prayer, I should see my son peacefully sleeping. That only my prayer. And then you won't believe, one thunder came, one lightning came. The outside was a pitch darkness. One lightning came inside the house, and then as if it was, you know, daylight, it became daylight, and then thunder came. With that thunder, I just opened my eyes when I was praying, and you won't believe, Steve, he took all the pillows, Joel, he kept one side, he took one pillow, and then he was holding one pillow and peacefully sleeping.
Wow. So two dramatic health issues with your husband and your son, and
yes,
through prayer, God really revealed Himself to you, didn't He, in your family?
That's the foundation for my faith, and you know. So the 23rd chapter, the 4th verse is, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil because you're with me. the rod and the staff, they comfort me. Exactly what happened in that night when there was no help, pitch darkness outside, a big storm, no help, and God helped me.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that was the foundation for me, and then complete transformation for my life. And then onwards in my life, I came here, and then in every, whatever promise God gave me, I had a habit of asking every year a promise. Mm-hmm. Lord, this year, please give me one promise. So he gives me a promise, and I see, and always he fulfilled my promise. Mm-hmm. Whatever he gave, he fulfilled promise in my life. And last time also, when I had a heart problem, and 2019, May 24th, I was admitted in the hospital. Mm. I prayed, Lord, you gave me a promise, that is Jeremiah 29:11. I have a plan for you, plans to prosper, not to harm you, plans to give hope and future. That was my promise. Wonderful. And then I asked, that thing, no, not to harm you. Lord, you gave me not to harm. The promise says, but I'm in the hospital today, but God healed me completely. And then he fulfilled the promise in me. We get trials and tribulations in life, but God said in his word, you will have trials and tribulations, but be good of cheer, and I have overcome the world. That's what he said, isn't it? Yeah. So I always think, and his grace is sufficient for me.
Wonderful. What a great testimony, Mary. We're probably coming towards the end of our time, but so can I ask you, what piece of advice would you give to someone in their life of being a disciple of Jesus?
Yes, I've got a message for everyone is Philippians 4, chapters 6 and 7. Mm-hmm. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God which transcends all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus.
That's great. Is that your favorite verse?
My favorite verse is 23rd chapter, 4th verse.
Oh, yeah.
Though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Wonderful. And also one more verse.
Yeah.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Wow. Thank you, Mary, so much for your wonderful testimony. I'm sure that as people watch that, they will be inspired and encouraged. And you've been a great blessing to us, and it's been a privilege to know you during our time in Leicester. So we pray that God will continue to bless you and all your family.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you.